What about Roger Goodell? To what degree does he get involved with officiating? A lot of people talk about personal accountability with some of these refs, and the biggest complaint, of course, is that refs aren't held accountable. So how does RG get involved with this?
Well, I don't know. RG gets what he wants. I mean, he can push the necessary button to get through what he wants to get through. And I think that, listen, that's his job or whatever. But you know, I think that and maybe Amy would say this or maybe not. I'm not so sure. But I think the league office has more say over the competition committee now than they did before. The committee was run more by more traditionalists, like names that most people would never know, Joel Bussert, those types of people that I think looked at it from a neutral position of the committee in making their recommendations to the owners as to what they think should be passed or not passed. And now I think the league office is more involved in pushing what they want. And that's, again, this is my opinion. And I think that the one thing about Goodell is it was an interesting thing between Goodell and Tagliabue because I was there in the transition. Tagliabue was more of a hands-off, let you do your job. Roger is more of a hands-on, wants to know everything. I mean, when Roger took over, I was getting calls at midnight on Monday night saying, what was that? And tags, I mean, I would never hear about it until if there was the next day that he had some concern. But Roger does make sure that officials get held accountable, and they do. And I think that's one of the great myths in football officiating. The makeup call is a myth, is an absolute myth. You miss one call, then why would you want to miss another call on purpose to make up for the one that you missed in the first place? Because now you got two incorrect calls and you could be on borderline of getting fired at the end of the season, which officials do get let go. You want to be polite and say, in often cases, you say, well, they've retired. We've done this, moved them to this thing. But these guys are graded every week, and every play that they're a part of is looked at. I mean, and I went through both. I mean, I had every play, every call that I made looked at, and then I looked at every play when I was evaluating games of other officials, and they're given grades, and it's stressful. I mean, it is stressful. You wait the first 2 days of the week to get your game report, and here you think you had a pretty good game, and then you're knocked down twice because you missed this defensive holding call or you missed this illegal block in the back. And these officials at the end of the year with all of this evaluations are put into tiers, which now go 1 through 4, I believe it is. Tier 1, which allows you to be qualified to work the Super Bowl. Tier 2, the championship game. 3, you can be in the playoffs. 4 is not a good tier to be on. And if you're on that
four
tier,
leaves you in tears, in other words. Well,
four says you better, if 4 scares you, the first year you're in 4, and then the second year you're in 4, especially if it's 2 in a row, then it does leave you in tears. There's no other sport, in my opinion, because we're a once-a-week game, that evaluates the officials more than the NFL does. It's always been that way from Art McNally's time all the way through Jerry Seaman and myself and Dean and all the other people that were crazy enough to take the job that we had.
Check out new episodes of What the Football with Suzy Shuster and Amy Trask every Tuesday. Watch us on the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page or follow and listen wherever you get your podcasts.